guys, what's up? My name's Tom and welcome back to the FPL Centre. Game week 3 is done and it was one of those, wasn't it really? Low scoring game week overall with the average at around 50. A lot of highly owned players kind of failing to score very well and a couple doing particularly badly as well. Still, I guess the main takeaway for me is not to overreact. It's still very early in the season, only game week 3, and it might be another few weeks before we really know exactly how things are going to shape up in terms of player form and things like that. The Champions League is yet to start. Rotation could still become a factor, things like that. So yeah, keep it in mind. Don't overreact to what was overall for everybody a pretty low-scoring game week. But yeah, let's take a look at a few of the key players from game week 3. So first up, we've got Alexander Mitrovic. He got 2 goals, 1 assist and the full complement of bonus points in Fulham's 4-2 home win against Burnley on the weekend. He also recorded the highest number of penalty box touches amongst forwards with 10, and his 75% shot accuracy was very impressive there as well. He's currently the most transferred in forward following game week 3 with almost 250,000 FPL managers buying the Serbian striker, and he's already seen a price rise from 6.5 mil up to 6.6 mil as a result of that. His upcoming fixtures are relatively kind, with the exception of Man City away in game week 5, and then he's got Arsenal at home in game week 8. But aside from those two, his fixture run looks pretty favourable, and he should be capable of maintaining some pretty good form there. Next up is Marcos Alonso. Alonso made it 3 consecutive double-figure returns after providing his owners with another 2 assists and maximum bonus points in Chelsea's 2-1 win at Newcastle. 81 out of his 108 touches were recorded in the opposition half, and 59 of his total touches were recorded in the final third. That's exactly half of his total touches in the final third there, so that's looking pretty good. He seems to be offering attacking width down the left wing with freedom to get into the box whenever he likes. And of course we know Hazard has a tendency to drift inside quite a lot, so Alonso should continue to be a very important part of that Chelsea attack, offering the width down the left wing. Next up is Lucas Moura. He recorded a very impressive 2-goal performance in Spurs' 3-0 win over United at Old Trafford on Monday night. Son Heung-min is due back from the Asian Games in a couple of weeks. But yeah, Lucas Moura has looked dangerous in all of Spurs' games so far and looks to be a very good finisher based off his goals so far this season. Potentially, he's only a short-term option because, as we've mentioned, the return of Son means that either Moura might drop to the bench with Son kind of reclaiming his place in that starting 11, or at the very least there could be a threat of rotation between the two, of course, once the European fixtures kick in and things like that. Pochettino said about how he's planning to use different players in different formations and different setups and things like that. So one to keep an eye on, but in the short term definitely looks like he could provide some value over the next few games. Now we'll take a quick look at some players who failed to impress. First of all, we have to go with Richarlison, of course. His red card for violent conduct in Everton's 2-2 draw against Bournemouth means he's going to miss the next 2 Premier League games. The ban is for 3 games, but of course one of those is going to apply to the League Cup fixture in the week. He's likely to see a dramatic reduction in ownership and loss of value. Already 750,000 FPL managers have transferred him out this week, and he's lost 0.1 mil in value. As you can imagine, there's probably more to come as well. The most popular replacements for Richarlison seem to be Theo Walcott, Pedro, Mkhitaryan and Lucas Moura, who we just mentioned. Walcott, of course, because the idea being, I suppose, with Richarlison out of the team, a lot more of the chances are going to fall to Walcott. And I know in game week 2, Walcott and Sigurdsson seem to kind of link up quite well there. Pedro, of course, for Chelsea looked pretty good over the first 2 games there. He didn't record anything against Newcastle, but Newcastle were kind of set up to prevent anyone getting space in behind, which is where Pedro does the most damage. Henrik Mkhitaryan, very popular pick because of Arsenal's fixture run. Didn't really do much in the game against West Ham. Seems to be more assisting the assister in that game with Ozil kind of absent. So playing more of a supporting role. We'll see if that changes over the next few games, if Ozil comes back in and Mkhitaryan can play a bit more advanced around the penalty box. And of course, like we just talked about, Lucas Moura offering some good short-term value there, but I have to keep in mind the fact that Son is returning. Next up, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Still no goals or assists for the 11 million man following Arsenal's 3-1 home win against West Ham on the weekend. It is hard to bet against him with the friendly fixture run, but he does offer a tough stick or twist dilemma for his owners. He's dropped down to 10.9 mil recently, and he hasn't looked particularly threatening in the 3 games so far. He's recorded only 5 penalty box touches this season after 3 games, and when you consider even Cardiff's Bobby Reid has recorded 11 penalty box touches, that is a bit disappointing for such a talented player. He does have very nice fixtures all the way to game week 10 though, and you have to imagine a player of his quality and his scoring record is going to get going sooner rather than later. Finally, we'll look at David De Gea. Still no clean sheet after 3 games for him. One thing that is clear from the game against Spurs for me is that the Man United defence does not look stable. Phil Jones went off with an injury, of course, and Lindelof, when he came on, he looked like a bag of nerves. Bailly had been dropped, presumably due to mistakes that he made against Brighton. And so when you add all that together, like, no one's really playing very well in that defence. 3 out of the next 4 fixtures are away from home. And of course, on paper, you'd favour United against those teams, but with the way they're playing right now, I just don't think you can trust them. And David De Gea probably going to be under quite a lot of pressure based off of the way that defence has been playing. But yeah, that's the kind of key players for the game week. Let's take a look at how our team did now in game week 3. So we got 57 points with a -4 hit, making an overall score of 53 for game week 3, just above the average, and it gives us a total of 210 points and an overall rank of 242,000, which is up around 20k spots. Just the 2 points from Hennessy in goal on his debut for the team. In defence, a clean sheet and 3 bonus points means that Robertson provides an important 9 points, and Bellerin as well chipping in with an assist to get us 5 points there. Mendy didn't record a clean sheet or any attacking returns, but he was still able to get 2 bonus points to give us a total of 4 from him. Salah was appointed captain and did his duty by returning 16 points after scoring the only goal in Liverpool's win against Brighton. We brought Richarlison in on a -4 point hit for game week 3, and he repaid us by getting sent off, which was lovely, of course, so -2 points there. Christian Eriksen finally got off the mark with an assist in the Monday night game, and just the 2 points from Bernardo Silva there. Up front, 5 points from Arnautovic as he scored West Ham's only goal in their loss against Arsenal. He limped off though, so his game week 4 availability is due to be assessed later in the week. Callum Wilson didn't find the back of the net, but he picked up 2 assists for both the Bournemouth goals in that game against Everton, so very happy to get 8 points from him there. And Sergio Aguero, he blanked against Wolves despite another impressive display where he hit the woodwork twice. Just to point out as well, I was impressed with Bellerin for Arsenal, kind of looking the constant threat overlapping on the right wing, and it was good to see him deliver some dangerous balls into the area. But yeah, let's take a look at the league table now. So there we go, Frankie Donnellan and Simon Kay retain the top 2 positions after game week 3, but Frankie actually manages to overtake Simon and claim the top spot. Both managers made 2 free transfers for the game week, but in the end it was Frankie's duo of Marcos Alonso and Tom Cairney who outscored Simon's Ricardo Pereira and Sadio Mane that seemed to make the decisive difference, with a lot of their other players kind of scoring very similarly. Once again, I had green arrows everywhere except for this FPL Centre League, where I dropped down another few places to 28th. So you guys really seem to be doing a much better job than me so far. Well done to everybody there. And yeah, we'll just have a look now at my team going into game week 4. So we'll take a look at the team now for game week 4. Fabianski comes in as goalkeeper for West Ham's home fixture against Wolves. Decent chance of a clean sheet, or at least picking up some save points there. In defence, we remain unchanged as Robertson, Bellerin and Mendy all have very nice fixtures this week. So hopefully clean sheets and some attacking returns from 1 or 2 of them as well. In midfield, Pedro comes in as our only transfer of the week as Richarlison makes way following his red card and subsequent ban. Did not want to lose value on him, so we made the early swap there to bring in Pedro. Aside from that, no other changes across the midfield or the front line. Sergio Aguero is likely going to take the captaincy back from Mohamed Salah this week, as his home fixture against Newcastle is one that he always seems to enjoy. He scored a hat-trick in the fixture last season, and of course everyone remembers that 5-goal haul he managed in 2015. We'll be hoping, of course, for the same kind of performance this weekend for sure. It's interesting to note as well that the referee for the Man City against Newcastle game on the weekend will be Kevin Friend, who was in charge of the game in 2015 when Aguero scored those 5 goals against Newcastle. He's also the referee who gave the most penalties per game last season, and he's already given 3 penalties this season. And of course, Aguero is on penalties, so potentially something to look at there. Shout out to FPL Ref on Twitter for those statistics. That's at FPL_ref on Twitter. Make sure you give him a follow for some interesting referee stats. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think of the video, how you did in Game Week 3, how you're lining up for Game Week 4. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, and of course you can follow me on Twitter at FPL Centre. I'll see you again. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.